Where's your
Here
hat?
we go. Welcome to the Perfect Season podcast on a Thursday, June the 2nd, 2022. My name is Alex Frank, joined by, I'm not sure if I'm joined by Maverick or Antonio Fiorentino, but nevertheless, Anthony Fiorentino joining me today. By the way, I said my name is Alex Frank. You know me as Frankie on this podcast. The other Alex, sadly not with us.
He's in Arizona.
And he's in Arizona and for quite the foreseeable future from what I've heard. So
I have no clue where Leon's been. I haven't heard from him in a while.
yeah, I hope Leon's okay too, because
I know he's been busy with work and school.
Okay, so on today's show, we're going to go through our last show, which I don't know if I posted yet. Last show, yes, I have posted it. Last show, we went through every week on the schedule except week 18 because there's a lot to be determined before week 18. And pick the games we're most looking forward to every week. So today we're going to do our season predictions, how we think each team is going to finish in the regular season. I went a step further and did my postseason picks. Anthony decided not to. That's okay, though. Okay. Eventually you will. So let's, and by the way, these are not our final regular season picks. We'll do those closer to the start of the season, September the 8th, when the Bills take on the Rams.
I got the Bills winning.
On opening kickoff night. Oh, we already differ there. Okay. So what conference do you want to start with? You want to start with the AFC or the NFC?
You know, I got this in order from AFC to NFC. We're going to start with the AFC.
What division in the AFC?
The AFC South.
Yeah. All right. The AFC South. So a division that has not produced a Super Bowl winner since 2006. In fact, no team.
You got the Titans, Colts, Texans, and Jags.
And no team from this division has even been to a Super Bowl since 2009. It's a division that I don't think very.
You never know.
You never
know with this division.
I mean, Tennessee dominated it the last years.
You know, do you want me to just hop into my prediction or?
I'm just saying. I'm just giving an overview. So Tennessee has dominated this division the last 2 years. The Colts, though, this offseason added, the Titans subtracted.
You know, we're going to start this off from bottom to top, you know, who we think's going to suck, and then lead it up, have it lead up.
I think that fits this division because we know the two teams who aren't going to win it.
You know, I'm being generous here. I was reading a bunch of predictions, and we all know this team. They made a interesting head coaching position this offseason. Houston, I got them going 4-13. ESPN, all my other sources said 6-11, 7-10. I just couldn't really vibe with that, you know, because I couldn't vibe with the 7-10 for Houston. What do they have that brings that and like that oomph to the table or whatever?
Yeah, they really don't have.
I would say 4-13.
They don't have that name brand player on their team. Now
you have a Davis Mills quarterback. That's a Mike Glennon in the making.
And what's interesting is, so you have them finishing no better or no worse than they finished last year because they were 4-13 last year.
Surprisingly.
Okay, third place.
Now you see, I got two teams tied. Two teams that finished with the same record. I know we probably are going to disagree on this. This is a shocking pick. I see Tennessee not doing well this year. I see them downgrading. I got them going 7-9.
7-9 or 7-10?
7-9.
Well, there's 17 games.
7-10.
Okay.
You know, math's confusing.
Okay.
And then I got Jacksonville going 7-10 also.
Interesting. So you've got the Colts winning the division.
I got the Colts winning the division at 10-7.
10-7. Well, we're off to a good start because I have the Colts winning the division at 10-7 also.
Okay.
And guess what?
What do you got Jacksonville at?
I have Jacksonville at 5-12, but I have Tennessee at 7-10 like you. What's interesting though with my predictions is I have Tennessee winning 5 games in the division and then only winning 2 games outside of it. This division is not very strong. And I think about Tennessee. Think about who they're playing this year. They're playing the entire AFC West. We know how good that division is going to be. They're playing the NFC East. Yeah, the NFC East. So They're going to face the Cowboys. They're going to face the Eagles. They're going to face an improved Giants team right off the jump week 1. And Washington, they'll probably win that game. And then they're also facing the Bengals and the Bills. I mean, they have a brutal schedule, and they play Green Bay at Green Bay. I mean, that's a brutal schedule, Anthony, for a team that lost AJ Brown. Their quarterback is not as good as he was in 2019
and then you got
2020.
Malik Willis.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
so expect Tennessee to have a couple bad years.
Exactly. And I don't know about a couple bad years, and I will also
maybe like 1 to 2 bad years.
I'll add this, Anthony,
because Malik is basically a Trey Lance in the making. He's a project.
Yeah, I'll add this too. Derrick Henry's coming off an injury.
That is true, and you know what running backs are like.
Yes,
running backs don't proceed to stay long in the NFL.
And what happens? Like, that's an interesting thing here. Like, I don't think anybody's talked about.
Derrick Henry's coming off an injury.
Has Derrick Henry peaked?
Besides that, like, couple of games here and there and everything, but
I mean, before he got injured last year, he was going to maybe break the single season rushing yards record.
Yeah.
And now he's coming off a foot injury. I know he played in the playoff game last year, but he wasn't very effective. If you remember that game when the Bengals beat him.
No, it wasn't. The Bengals won on freaking field goal.
Yeah, and you saw the Bengals rush defense. That game was spectacular against him.
You know, all right.
Okay, so I've got the Colts. Hold on. Colts 10-7. We'll get to that division for sure. Colts 10-7.
That's gonna. I got some interesting picks.
By the way, the Colts are my 4 seed at 10-7.
You got the Colts at 4?
Colts my 4 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah, Colts 10-7. The Titans 7-10. The Jaguars 5-12. I do see improvements from them. Maybe not in wins, but in terms of play on the field. And then the Texans at 1-16. Because what excites you?
You got them at 1-16. Who do you see them beating?
I don't remember who I have them winning a game against. I'll have to look back at their schedule. Excuse me. I feel like it might be Washington.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it is. All right. So the AFC North. This is probably
this is one of the divisions that's growing and declining at the same time. Let's just say.
That's a good observation there. Why do you think that?
Well, growing, you got the Bengals. Look at what they did last year. You got Joey B. You got Jamar Chase. You got Alex Kappa from Tampa, who's a Buccaneer, and everything. And he's gonna help that offensive line. Get rid of Eli Apple. God so help me.
You're not on the Eli Apple bandwagon.
No, he blew half that coverage in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yes.
When he got drafted, I was high hopes on him. I was really high hopes on him.
Top 10 draft pick formerly of the.
And then he's Vernon Hargreaves basically.
He's Vernon Hargreaves, but he doesn't run.
I was on the Vernon Hargreaves bandwagon.
He's Vernon Hargreaves, but he doesn't run onto the field in his street clothes during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to start from?
Let's start with who you have winning the division. No, should we do that
Let's do worst to best.
Worst to first. Okay, worst to first, just like the Bengals did last year. So who do you got?
You know, you're gonna love me for this, but you're also gonna. I got the Steelers finishing 6-11.
Ooh!
Look at what they did. You have Kenny Pickett.
11.
Kenny Pickett,
who's start.
Most likely should start. Then you got Mitch Trubisky, who's could mentor.
I mean, he has led.
Trubisky does have somewhat of what it takes. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see enough here. I don't really see enough from this team. And you got Najee Harris coming into year 2 and everything. Blah blah blah. So what? Blah, 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 blah. But after Pittsburgh. I have the Browns at 10-7.
Okay, 10. Ooh. Now, is that enough to make the playoffs?
They just missed the playoffs.
Just missed the playoffs. Okay.
Because it's one of those like they get in the middle of the season, they get one of those like stumbled up games. You know,
they've had those.
and then I got the Ravens at
Aha.
11-6.
So
At
guess
11
who
and
you
6.
have winning the division, Antonio?
And then, before you get all giddy or whatever, as you always do, I see the Bengals taking this division for a while, for the next couple of years. They just have what it takes.
Yeah.
I got them at 13-4.
13-4. Let's go. That's where I got the Bengals. 13-4, winning the division, tiebreaker over the Ravens, who I also have a 13-4 in the playoffs.
I mean, the Ravens do put up or shut up, basically.
The Ravens the Ravens,
if they can stay healthy. If they can stay
healthy, they're making the playoffs. I mean, there's too
Oh
much,
yeah,
there's too much
100% guaranteed.
There's too much talent on that roster for them to not make the playoffs. The Bengals, though, Anthony, here's why I have the Bengals winning the division. Because they have the best quarterback in the division in Joe Burrow. And I know people
because I don't see the Browns have Deshaun Watson.
No,
yeah,
Deshaun Watson hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah, he hasn't played in 2 years.
And by the way,
and to make matters worse, he just got another civil lawsuit case on him.
Yeah. So we don't know if Deshaun Watson.
We don't even know if he's gonna play. Yeah. Who's the Browns' back? Who's the second stringer? Who's the third stringer?
And by the way, the Browns receiving core, not very good. Amari Cooper is their wide receiver 1. Would you even say he's a wide receiver 1?
I think like when he was in his prime with Oakland.
He's in his prime right now.
Yeah, he's in his
with
prime
the Raiders,
right now,
yes.
But I wouldn't see him at wide receiver 1.
Anthony, the thing is, it's like in big games, you don't even hear his name.
No.
Like there was a game Dallas played in New England years ago, and Amari Cooper had, I think, 1 target in that game.
Jeez.
1 target. And
just
by the way, I think that was an interception, or he caught it and then he fumbled.
Amari Cooper ain't going to be wide receiver 1 at the end of this year.
And by the way, Kevin Stefanski's system is heavily predicated to the running back. Deshaun's not going to like that.
He's a run offensive kind of coach.
Exactly. I mean, I think the Browns are going to be
better. You gotta fluctuate it.
And I think their defense is going to be okay. I mean,
it's going to be
some players
okay to average.
Now, I love that you had the Steelers at 6-11 because I hate the Steelers.
But yeah, I know you hate the Steelers and everything.
But you have to remember this.
They're gonna tank for a couple of years.
Even when you think they're gonna suck, they don't. They made the playoff. They made the playoffs last year with a quarterback who had who was a what's the word I'm looking for? A wounded duck. Is that the word I'm looking for? A noodle arm.
Hospital broken quarterback. He
was beat up.
But he was in his prime.
But okay, Najee Harris had a really good season as a rookie.
Najee Harris did have a good season.
Their receiving core, I think, is better than people think. And we know
who is their receiving core?
Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Pat Freiermuth, George Pickens, their 2nd-round pick from Georgia, who can, I think, fit right in, and Chase Claypool.
Okay.
So that's a pretty solid receiving core, Anthony. And their defense is going to show up. I mean, TJ Watt and the gang.
Oh yeah.
They're going to show up. So I have them at 8-9. But it wouldn't shock me if they finished better than that. Browns, I have them at 9-8. Ravens, I have at 13-4 as my 5 seed. The Bengals, I have at 13-4 as my 2 seed.
Okay.
All right. Next division.
AFC East.
AFC East. I think there's a consensus.
I think we all know how this division's gonna go out.
Who do you have winning the division?
Buffalo.
Is that even a question? Yeah, me too. I got them at 14-3. My number 1.
So do I. I got them at 14-3.
Yeah, I have them at 6-0 in the division. Next, second place. If that's
I got Miami.
Same here. 8-9.
11-6.
Interesting. So you have Miami in the playoffs.
I do have Miami in the playoffs.
I can see it, and here's.
I see them as a wild card.
The first time I did my NFL picks, I had them in the playoffs as my 7 seed. Well, they're going to be a wild card because they're not beating Buffalo. I mean,
give me a choosy game.
Excuse me.
Like give me a pick'em game, like a fluke.
The thing about Miami is they're going to beat the teams they're supposed to be, but they need to win a game like the Sunday night game against Pittsburgh. They need to win.
That's a must win.
They need to steal a game that they shouldn't win. And maybe we should go to that game. All right.
I mean, that is the 75th anniversary. That's a throwback jerseys.
I would love to get my hands on one of those.
So would I.
All
I
right.
know Alex and Leon would.
Third place.
I got New England 7-9,
Seven, 7 and 10, right?
7-10. You know what I meant. Math is
Yeah,
confusing.
well, it could if you have 9 losses, it could be 8-9. If you have 7 wins, it could be 7 and 10. I got them at 6 and 11.
Seems
And
reasonable.
then the Jets,
6-11.
I've got them at 5 and 12, but still very similar.
ESPN said 7-10.
I can see them going 7 and 10. I mean, they did make improvements, but like it's one of those things where until I see it, I can't really pick it. All right.
The AFC, this division, the AFC West is the most hyped division that I'm looking forward to this year.
And you want to know how hyped it is? I have every team in this division with at least 10 wins and every team going 3-3 in the division. Let that tell you something.
I got 3 teams with 10 or more wins.
Okay. Now,
I got me being a little biased. I got the Raiders taking this division at 13-4.
Whoa. All right.
The Raiders are taking this division. Mark my words. Then I have the Broncos at 11-6.
Whoa, wow.
Then you got the Chargers at 10-7. They're overhyped, but they're gonna have their games where they are good. And then just because I think the Chiefs really struggled this year. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have Travis Kelce, you got Juju, you got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I got them at 8-9.
A losing record.
Yeah.
After 4 straight seasons of them hosting the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. I have a losing record.
And they still have a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
I have a losing record.
Fair enough. Okay. So I'm going to go worst to first. I've got the Chiefs at 10-7, finishing in 4th place, just outside the playoff picture. Why? Well, I just realized that I have Denver at 11-5, so I got to go back and look and see what game I didn't. Oh, shoot. This could mess up my entire predictions, Antonio. I got to go I got to go all the way back now to see what week I missed when I didn't pick the game Denver was playing in. So this is going to take a minute. Let me see. Let me just make sure that I have Denver. I better. Oh, this is not fun. I only picked Denver and oh wait, shoot. Okay, well that's actually not going to matter because, well actually it might. Oh wait, you know what? No, it didn't matter. Okay, so let me. Oh shoot. Okay, it didn't matter because I still have them where I have them. I've got Denver at 11-6, finishing in 3rd place and 7th in the conference. So I have them in my playoffs. All right. And then in 3rd place, I've got, or 2nd place rather, I've got the Chargers at 12-5, which means I am singing your praises here, Antonio. I've got the Las Vegas Raiders taking the division 12-5, 3rd seed in the AFC, setting up a Chargers-Raiders wild card weekend showdown.
That would be amazing.
How much fun would that be? And that would probably be a Monday night game, which we should go to.
I'd be down. Let's save our pennies now and go.
Well, you don't know if that's going to happen. All right, so the AFC West, we think it's going to be. We think it's going to be the best division in football. So now
hands down.
So we've covered the AFC divisions. Now we go to the NFC divisions. What division do you want to start with here?
Let's go to the most hated division. The most hated division with the most hated team, the NFC East.
Okay.
Do you want to start bottom worst to first or?
Well, I think we know the 2 teams who are going to finish 3rd and 4th.
I changed it up a little bit. I switched it up. I got the Commanders at 7-10.
All right.
They have some good pieces. Don't get me wrong. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback when he's healthy.
He's the most confusing, polarizing quarterback to evaluate.
Yes. You know, and then I got a tie for third.
Okay.
Between the Giants and the Cowboys.
Ooh.
Both teams have losing records at 8 and 9.
Both teams have losing records at 8 and 9. So it is Birds.
That means I got the Eagles taking the division at 11 and 6.
Ooh, okay. So we agree once again on our division winner.
The Eagles.
I've got Philly because I think
I
think their additions this offseason. Look, Dak Prescott may be the best quarterback in this division. Not maybe.
He may be yes.
He
but
is.
I still think he's a one-hit
Who
wonder.
does he have around him? Don't tell me Ezekiel Elliott is a great running
Zeke
back.
hasn't proven anything.
He's not. Okay.
Zeke,
They lost
I would take Derrick Henry over Zeke any day.
Exactly. It doesn't hurt to also add that Dallas lost 2 offensive linemen this offseason to free agency. And I still have them in the playoffs because their defense is really good, surprisingly. So I've got Washington in 4th at 2 and 15. I mean, yeah, they have some talent, but it's a mess there. I've got the Giants at 6 and 11. I think they're going to be improved this year slightly. Dallas 11 and 6, and then they're my 7 seed, the Cowboys. And then I got Philly at 14 and 3 as my number 2 seed in the NFC. I think the Eagles are poised for a 2019 Ravens-like season because they have a quarterback who's dynamic. They have a running game that is nearly impossible to stop, and they have 2 receivers who can both hit 1,000 yards. This might be a really difficult offense to stop, and their offensive line is better than you might realize because you may not have paid attention to Philly the last few seasons, but when their offensive line is healthy, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, and all the other stalwarts on that offensive line, it's a pretty damn good unit up front.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What division you want to do next?
We'll go to the NFC South.
All right, my division.
I think we
already know who's taking this division. We already know.
Yeah, I've got Tampa.
It's on my hat. It's on my shirt.
I've got him at 13 and 4, finishing 3rd.
I got them at 13 and 4. I have the Saints at 10 and 7.
Saints are an interesting team because I go back
and forth. Team.
I've gone back and forth on them from not having them in the playoffs to having them in the playoffs. This time I don't. I have them 8 and 9. But I have them 6 and 0 in the division.
I got the Falcons 4 and 13.
I'm right there with you. I got them at 3 and 14, and then Carolina
2 and 14.
Is it 2 and 14 or 2 and 15?
2 and 15.
I've got them at 1 and 16. I mean, that's how. They
don't have anything. They don't have anything.
There's no direction with this franchise. It's like they drafted Matt Corral. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have Robbie Anderson. But I mean, after they started 3-0 last year, they finished 2 and 12.
Yeah. Let's go to the NFC North.
The NFC North is going to be a lot more interesting than I think people.
Okay. We'll start who takes the division.
Okay.
Minnesota at 12 and 5.
Wow, we agree on that.
You're gonna hate me for my next pick. I really am hopping on the Lions bandwagon this year.
Okay.
I see major improvement. 10 and 7.
10 and what? What did you eat or drink this morning?
I see 10 and 7 in the
Please tell me you don't have them in the playoffs.
No, I don't have them in the playoffs. But what I'm saying,
you didn't do your playoff pick, so who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, whatever. Blah 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 blah.
But you don't have them in the playoffs.
The Lions could have been last year. They could have been a 6-win team, a 7-win team. That is true. They showed signs of improvement. Look at the game 1 against the 49ers. They almost came back and won. Look at the game against the Ravens. That's 66-yard field goal.
I'll add this. Remember week 2, Monday Night Football? They led Green Bay at the half.
Yeah. So there's signs of major improvement.
And by the way, they beat Green Bay in the last week of the regular season.
They did.
Okay.
And then that puts me with Green Bay at 8 and 9.
8 and 9.
Who does Aaron Rodgers have to throw to?
Sammy Watkins,
Sammy Watkins is
Randall
basically almost
Cobb.
done with his career.
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb's almost done too.
He'll get Robert Tonyan back. I think it's going to be a much different offense in Green Bay this year. I really do.
And then in the bottom end of the division, it was funny. I talked to a Bears fan yesterday who's a diehard Ohio State fan from Michigan too, which really surprised me. She said Justin Fields is a bust.
It's hard.
Because
It's
he's on the
hard to
Bears,
say
but
if he is or not.
if Justin Fields is on a different team, then maybe there's some hope. But I got the Bears at 1 and 16.
1 and 16. Okay, I'll just say it right now. I got him at 3 and 14. I don't expect much from them. Here's the thing about
It's the
Minnesota.
Bears for crying out loud.
Here's the thing about Minnesota, which I have them winning the division in 12 and 5. I don't know why people aren't higher on this team.
I mean, Minnesota does have a new head coach though, so
yeah. But let's think about this for a minute, Anthony. Their quarterback's Kirk Cousins. You can do a hell of a lot worse than that.
I mean, yeah.
Let's run through. Their top 2 receivers are Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. I mean, name me a better duo outside of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill than those 2 guys.
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin.
Okay. Well, okay. The more I think about
Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow.
I would also put, the Bengals, the Raiders. Okay. Jefferson and Thielen are a very good wide receiver tandem. And then I think about Dalvin Cook at running back. I think about,
Dalvin Cook was a steal.
And by the way, if Minnesota wins 4 of the games they lost on the last play or by 1 score, they're in the playoffs. You do realize that. I mean, the Eagles were the last seed in the playoffs at 9 and 8. So if Minnesota, if Greg Joseph doesn't miss the field goal against the Cardinals, if they don't give up a touchdown on the last play to the Lions, there's 2 wins right there. If they hold a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter at Baltimore, there's a win there. If Dalvin Cook doesn't fumble against the Bengals, there's a win there. So, I mean, there's a lot that I like about this team. I've got them at 12 and 5, 4 seed in the division, or I'm sorry, the conference. Green Bay, I have at 11 and 6. I think they're still going to be good, but you're going to see how much.
They're going to be mediocre.
You're going to see how much Devontae Adams is missed in Green Bay. I have them as my 6th seed in the playoffs. Lions 8 and 9, making major improvements. Bears 3 and 14. Got about 9.5 minutes left of time. Let's go to the NFC West, another strong division. It's got the reigning Super Bowl champions, for as much as that pains me to say.
Yes,
the
it
LA
does.
Rams.
So very much so.
Okay, so
I got the Rams and Niners at 12 and 5.
Who do you have winning the division?
I think the Niners win it at 12 and 5.
Do we agree? So you're saying we agree on all 8 division winners?
We do.
How about that? Because I got the Niners at 14 and 3 winning the division.
I got them at 12 and 5.
Yeah, I just think the Niners, like when they got healthy in the middle of the season last year, they were a very, very good team.
All right.
And try stopping Deebo Samuel and George Kittle. It's not easy.
I got the Cardinals at 10 and 7.
Are they in the playoffs?
No.
Okay.
And then I got Seattle at 6 and 11.
I have Seattle at 6 and 11. I have Arizona at 4 and 13.
Damn.
I think it's going to fall apart in Phoenix this year. Now that might change come the start of the season. I don't think Kyler Murray is as great as people think he is. Cliff Kingsbury's, he's got a lot of, panache to his coaching schemes, whatever. But the Cardinals were 7-0 last year. They finished 4 and 6, and then they got creamed in the playoffs by the Rams. Kyler Murray couldn't throw out of his own end zone without throwing an interception. Okay, Seattle 6 and 11. I think there's going to be some major steps back this year because their quarterback situation. Their quarterback situation is in limbo. The Rams I have at 12 and 5, 5th seed in the NFC. Again, it's just the kryptonite of them not being able to beat the 49ers. And you can say, well, they did it in the NFC Championship game last year. Yeah, they had to come back from down 10 in the 4th quarter to do so. So, I mean, what am I missing here? So the Niners, I still think, are going to win this division. Okay, so Anthony, you didn't do your playoff picks. That's fine. For me, so with my predictions, here are my wild card round matchups. And all 3 times I've done my season picks, Anthony, I have the same exact 5-4 AFC wildcard matchup. The Ravens at the Colts.
Okay. Seems reasonable.
Okay. Then I've got my 6-3 matchup is the Chargers at the Raiders, which could be a phenomenal game. I mean, we remember the Chargers-Raiders game in Vegas last year, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I was shivering me timbers.
You're what?
I was shaking my boots, basically, the whole freaking game.
Yeah. 7-2 matchup, Broncos and Bengals in Cincinnati. So
Okay.
I'm going to pick the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Bengals to advance.
Finally.
So that means, you know what? Okay. So NFC, 5-4 matchup, Rams at the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell against his former team. Won't matter. Rams are going to take that game. My 6-3 matchup, how about this, Anthony? Green Bay at Tampa Bay.
Okay.
I'm going to take Tampa in that game. And then my 7-2 matchup, Dallas at Philly. I'm going to take Philly, and I don't even think that game is going to be close.
Dallas at Philly?
Yeah.
Who
Okay.
you got winning?
Philly. It's not even going to be close.
I don't see Dallas even making the playoffs.
I'm just not. Okay. So, divisional round matchups in the AFC. Ravens go to number 1 seeded Buffalo. My 3-2 matchup, here's a good one. Raiders at Bengals in Cincinnati.
Raiders at Bengals in Cincinnati.
So I'm going to take both home teams there, the Bengals and the Bills, to advance. Then in the NFC, I've got Tampa Bay going to Philly. Give me Tampa Bay. And then I got the Rams visiting the top seeded Niners in the NFC. Of course, I'm taking the Niners. The Niners have owned the Rams. So conference championship matchups. Here we go. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. What a matchup that is. And then
Tampa Bay at San Fran?
Yes. And then Cincinnati at Buffalo. I'm going to take the Bucks to win in San Francisco. So give me 2 playoff wins for Tampa Bay on the road. And then the Bills to beat the Bengals because the Bills are the best team in the AFC right now. And it honestly may not be close. And I'm saying that as a Bengals fan, the reigning AFC champions. So then we go to Super Bowl 57 in Glendale. Buffalo,
Arizona,
and Tampa Bay. Yes.
You got
Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I'm taking Buffalo because I think they are the best team. And Tom Brady, listen, the greats don't always go out on top. Tom Brady has won 7 rings. You know what?
I want to live to see the Bucks win another Super Bowl.
It would be interesting to see. But I think Buffalo, here's the thing about Buffalo, Anthony. I don't think it's Super Bowl or bust for them. They think it is. And if they think it is, try stopping them. You won't. And here's the best part about it is they won't have to face Kansas City in the playoffs because Kansas City is not going to make the playoffs.
You're right.
All right.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. So we got 4 minutes left. The NBA finals start tonight. The Celtics and the Warriors game 1. Who do you got?
I got Celtics.
Okay.
They take the momentum out.
Yeah. If they take game 1, this series is on. I'm going to take Golden State. 103-96. Steph Curry will hit 37 points and 7 threes. Okay. Major League Baseball. We got about 4 minutes. We can run through the standings real quick. We'll start in our division since we have teams in this division, the AL East. So
hands down, the Rays taking that division.
They're back. They're 5 games back. But the good news for them is they've actually no. I'm sorry. The Rays are 5.5 games back in 3rd place. They're a half game behind Toronto, who's won 7 straight. Yankees remain in 1st place at 34-15.
I can see now.
Well, good. So then you get the AL Central. Minnesota in 1st place, shockingly or not shockingly. Chicago and Cleveland 5 games back each. Detroit 9 games back. Kansas City bringing up the rear, 12.5 games out. The AL West, which has been a really good division. Houston still in 1st place, 5.5 games up on the Angels, 8 games over Texas, 11.5 over Seattle. Oakland bringing up the rear, 14 games out of 1st place. Here's what's shocking to me, Anthony. The NL East, the Mets are 10.5 games up in 1st place.
The Mets still have time to choke.
They're 35-17. I mean, right now, the New York Mets have the best record in baseball.
Yeah, but they still choke. What about their pitching?
Their pitching's unbelievable. It has depth if you can cover up for the loss of Max Scherzer. I mean, they're still winning games. They've won 6 straight and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games.
Are we going to talk about how Pittsburgh swept the LA? Pittsburgh swept LA.
You know what? Those happen all the time. The
Yeah.
Dodgers are still in first place by 3 games in front of San Diego. And by the way, San Diego's also lost 3 in a row. So they missed out on an opportunity to tie them for first place.
It's crazy. It's not, I mean, like games like these still don't care.
And by the way, the Cincinnati Reds, I know they started 3-22. Since then, they've been 14-10.
Okay, signs of improvement.
I mean, you're never out of it. I mean, if you look at the wild card standings, the Reds aren't even in last place there. They're only 10 games out. And you're telling me they can't make up ground on the Marlins, Cubs, the Pirates? The Pirates have to fizzle out at some point, right?
Yeah. Anywho,
All
I think
right.
this was a good episode.
It was. We agree on all 8 division winners. I mean,
That's
when's the last time
surprising.
you and I agreed on all 8 division winners?
I know.
Put an
When was the last
asterisk.
time we agreed on anything?
Put an asterisk by it though, because it's only June 2nd. We'll see when we make our season predictions before the season starts. Then
With
we'll
Alex
see.
and Leon.
Oh, they're going to hype up the Dolphins. Maybe we will too. Thank you for listening to the Perfect Season Podcast. He's Anthony Fiorentino or Maverick. I'm Alex Frank or Joe Burrow. And have a great rest of your day. And we will talk to you whenever we talk to you. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you soon.